Hey Collective, welcome back into the channel. Welcome to your pink full moon in Libra oracle message. This is a message pertaining to my couples, my collective that are in relationships that are struggling, that are dealing with tension and chaos and drama. This is going to be a serious conversation between a divine masculine and a divine feminine. The overall energy, what you haven't said, what do you secretly fear, the current situation, insecurities and past actions, secret thoughts, and what would you like to heal with your partner, with the person on your mind. Hopefully this intimate conversation between a divine masculine and divine feminine energy will help guide you when it comes to you having your own conversations, knowing what to say, how to say it. Because the reality is everybody is being tested during this full moon. This is an opportunity for growth. This is an opportunity for clear communication. This is an opportunity for reconciliation and to balance out the scales. But the action also has to be taken. So, welcome back, all of my current subscribers. Come in. If you're new here to the channel, welcome to the Soul Tribe. Welcome to the family. So, collective, I am going to do a spread for the divine masculine and then do a spread for the divine feminine. And at the end, I will give you both overall advice, wisdom, insight. And hopefully, this will help you balance the scales as we start with a new romantic cycle beginning, a new moon in Libra. The first card out. This is the energy. A new romantic cycle is possible. It is possible to reconcile with somebody that you've been missing, that you've been disconnected from, where there's been tension, strife, unspoken words. But you have to believe in the impossible. Life oftentimes breaks us apart when we are not on the same page, when we have different dreams, goals, aspirations, when we have different motives and intentions. So this full moon in Libra is going to bring all of that to light. It is a time to be honest. It is a time to have that conversation you've been avoiding, especially if you want your person back. Some of you guys, it may be time for a very powerful change, a shift. That could be a shift in you moving in a new direction. That could be a shift in you moving back towards the person that deep down, even though you may not have always made the right decisions, you know you truly love and care for. But maybe you have fear. Maybe there's some things you haven't said that need to be said, a truth that needs to be told, forgiveness that needs to be given. So it's time to take a breather. Take time to breathe out. Really think about how important this connection is to you and what you are willing to do to retain it, to get it back, to be able to move back towards someone that means so much to you, or they did at one time. Because again, maybe those feelings have faded. But ultimately, it's time to show the world the real you. You could have Aquarius in your chart, or you can have Libra in your chart. The scales need to be balanced. Most of you guys in the collective are amazing. You guys are superstars. But when we have talents and are able to help others, sometimes our own insecurities come from not being able to know how to help ourselves. The energy of the moon is here today. You will have an opportunity to reconcile, to move with this shift. Otherwise, nothing will come of the situation. So a decision needs to be made between two people. One may still love the other and one may not. A conversation still needs to be had. There might be love between the both of you, and maybe one is hiding it because they're upset. There's fear, a lack of trust. But guess what? A conversation still needs to be had. So let's start with our Divine Masculine. Divine Masculine collective. What is it that you want to say that you have not said to your Divine Feminine? What are your fears? What do you desire in this connection, Divine Masculine? Hide away. Unseen imperfections. Right path. Falling fast. So Divine Masculine, your secret that you have not expressed to your Divine Feminine, that you need to let her know, is that you have a lot of insecurities that you have been hiding from her. And you feel like these imperfections are things that would not allow her to fall in love with you as fast as she did or has if she knew about them. You feel like keeping these things hidden from her will keep your relationship on the right path. But let me give you some advice, Divine Masculine. The truth always comes to light. If you create a foundation with a person that you care for that is faulty, that is not solid, that is not based on the strength of truth and integrity, that foundation will crumble over time. You will get tired of wearing the mask that you wore in the beginning. You will forget what that mask is supposed to look like, and your Divine Feminine will start to question who you are. This is a secret that you have kept from your Divine Feminine. This is what you need to discuss during this full moon in Libra. You need to have a moment of being vulnerable because you are dealing with a Divine Feminine who feels disconnected from you. And it is because of the mask, the blinders that you placed over her eyes without her permission. She longs for closeness, but feels distance. And it's because she intuitively knows there's things that you are hiding from her. If you are afraid to express yourself or tell these things to your Divine Feminine, and this is someone who you are supposed to love, who you're supposed to care for, who you want to be with, then the question becomes, Divine Masculine, why are you afraid to express yourself? Why are you afraid to tell her these things about you? Is it out of insecurity? Or is it because she will see that you are not the person that you say you are? There is a difference because everybody has insecurities. But if you're starting out a connection with not disclosing who you are to your soul, then you are starting the connection off incorrectly. So if there is strife and tension between you and your divine feminine, this could be your reason. It may be time to have that moment of vulnerability, to allow her in to truly know you and allow her to have the choice to decide whether she wants to stay with you or not, because you withholding, even if it's not said, it's still a lie. It's still coming from a selfish place. Divine masculine. She fell in love with you. And I feel like you don't trust that she can see as clearly as she sees. She has seen your imperfections and she was still there for you. But maybe your imperfections became too heavy for yourself and somehow you pushed her away. So what is the current situation, divine masculine, between you and your divine feminine? You want forgiveness. People are talking about how your connection is having trouble because there was a lack of reciprocity when you two were together. One of you was overgiving, the other was enjoying what they were receiving. And it caused the separation between the two of you. This is the story. You held back. You didn't express yourself clearly when you were connected, like I just said in the beginning. You withheld information from your divine feminine that would have allowed her to become closer to you emotionally, physically, spiritually. Your divine feminine has longed to have a deeper bond, but because of your insecurities, because of these things that you consider imperfections or insecurities, you withheld that information from her. And it makes her question who you are as a person. It's hard to stay in love with someone or love someone who you don't feel that you can trust or that you know fully. Current situation. So yes, you are feeling overwhelmed. And the stress of the situation is draining you because you want to find resolve. You want to reconnect and reconcile at this current moment. But again, it is going to take a level of openness, of vulnerability, of you speaking the truth that she's been waiting for you to speak for a very long time, it may seem. Are you willing to do that, divine masculine? Are you willing to open up and speak the truth? How are you feeling, divine masculine? Desire in the reverse. You feel like she no longer desires you. That could be correct. Again, your openness, you're willing to be vulnerable. It creates a closeness. It creates a bond between two people. It creates that desire, that longing, that admiration. But when someone is left out in the cold and in the dark, all their mind feels is chaos. And just like you are overwhelmed, this was the feeling of your divine feminine on a daily basis, trying to figure out how to understand someone who she knows that she cares for and wants to love deeper, but it's not allowing her to. You didn't allow her to come close to you, did you, divine masculine? No, because of your own self critical thoughts, your unreasonable expectations of you, of the connection of her, how you in your mind exaggerate your insecurities because you feel like you should be more handsome, more loving, have more finances, all of these insecurities that come from a place of pretentiousness when your divine feminine loves who you are. But at the same time, she cannot force you to love yourself, divine masculine. She expects you to be a warrior, an awakened warrior of the heart for her. She expects you to surrender to ego and struggle. She expects you to be able to connect to your heart space and to the divine in order to be able to love her correctly. But this is a choice that you have to make, divine masculine. She cannot make that choice for you. Are you willing to make that choice, divine masculine? Travel. It looks like it. It looks like you are willing to move towards your divine feminine. It looks like you are looking forward to seeing her. Maybe you guys are not together currently at this moment. There could be distance, states, countries, oceans. You could live in the same home and there still be distance, emotionally, physically, a lack of intimacy. But you are now awakened. You now understand that you have created the distance between the two of you. You want to be a warrior for her. You have been getting the signs. You have been receiving the guidance, the reassurance, the messages related to your current situations from spirit. And you have been following the signs and going in that direction. You have literally been traveling toward your divine feminine, even if it is just metaphorically. Energetically, you have already began. Good job, divine masculine. Because at the bottom of the deck, you are worthy. My divine masculines, I feel that most of you right now are in solitude. You are taking a step back from social scenes because you are really having to do that introspection in order to really know where to go from here. I feel a lot of you have self-sabotaged connections with people that you love very much and not even realize it. Or you have allowed external factors, external people to your life to cause you to self-sabotage. But I feel like this is something that you are awakening to. So, what are your insecurities and what were your past actions that caused the strife, that caused the disconnect between you and your divine feminine, divine masculine? A lot of you guys are soul searching. You are doing the inner work. You are finding deeper meaning to the connection between the two of you. And you are ready to be on a spiritual path because I feel like you know that that is the direction your divine feminine is on. And I feel like you're ready to get on the same timeline with her because she is not going to be able to move backwards. So in the past, you were very sneaky and dishonest. You hid information, confirmation. You were hiding information that didn't allow your divine feminine to truly connect to you, to truly know who you were. You were very sneaky. And for some of you, it doesn't mean that you were out there sleeping with everybody across town, but it made your divine feminine inevitably feel insecure about her position in your life, not being open with her. Anytime she wanted to know something about you or had a question, making her feel like she was nagging you or asking too many questions, it made her feel as if you had so much to hide that she just one day stopped asking. What else happened in the past? Or what else are you insecure about? You're afraid that she doesn't feel the same way about you, and you want her to feel that way again about you. You want real connection, you want affection, you want sparks. But in order to create that intimacy, in order to create those sparks, divine masculine, you have to be vulnerable. You have to be willing to be open to your divine feminine. She cannot connect with you by assumption, by thinking that she might know who you are. Those moments where you feel safe to be open and honest and you allow her in, it's what creates the intimacy. It creates that forever kind of love, that unbreakable bond, that bond that is meant to stay because two people know that they can trust each other without a shadow of a doubt. Two people know that they can depend on each other, and other people external to their relationship is not able to come in and break it apart. This is somebody who you consider to be a soulmate, a true partner, a spiritual union. But right now, you are the ex. Because your divine feminine feels like you had a double life, you had them in a third party, that you were sleeping with somebody from your past. These are the thoughts of your divine feminine because she has nothing else to go off of, because you need to have that moment of truth with her during this full moon. This is an opportunity for you to balance out this connection, divine masculine, and speak a truth. So, what has been unspoken? What have you not told? What are your secret thoughts, divine masculine? I feel like you worry that you might not have another opportunity in this lifetime to be with her. So you want your divine feminine to know if there's a next life, you will tell her how you feel sooner. So you feel that it might be too late. You feel like you might not have an opportunity to go backwards and reconcile, but understand that during this full moon, anything is possible. And like the moonology says, if you don't believe in the impossible, then nothing will come of it. So you have a choice, divine masculine, on how this goes. If you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to put your ego to the side, your own fears and insecurities, and break the silence that is so loud between the two of you. Because silence is like its own confession. When you don't have the words to speak, the silence, the emptiness fills itself. And that doubt that divine feminine feels solidifies every single moment, every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year. And it just gets more and more solid, more and more unbreakable, more and more solidified as truth. Your past shapes you, but it doesn't define you. So the mistakes that you've made in the past, divine masculine, you always have an opportunity to come back from, to fix, to address, to acknowledge. It's a moment. Some things aren't about you not being good enough. They're just not right for you. I feel like you felt like this divine feminine was not someone you deserved. Your self-worth was in question. Those insecurities and those fears took over your actions, and that self-sabotage lost the person that you truly loved. So at this moment, it is your opportunity to choose. But time waits for no one, divine masculine. Understand that your divine feminine is not waiting for your call, but not expecting an apology at this point, depending on how long it's been. But in order to know if there's a chance, instead of just watching her online, checking up on her, it's time to explain that truth that isn't always black and white. If you can sum up the courage, look beyond the moment, look beyond your fear, and really open up, you might truly have an opportunity to rebirth something that feels lost, something that feels like you might not have an opportunity to have again until another lifetime, divine masculine. So if you could say anything to your divine feminine right now, what would you say? Missing you is the first card out. You would tell your divine feminine how much you miss her, how much you wish things were different. But it doesn't have to be a wish, because everybody has free will. Everybody has an opportunity to take an action. And instead of allowing fear to lead, walk next to your fear and still move anyway. Because this energy is telling me that you feel like this divine feminine is worth it, that you've always felt like she was perfect for you, with this being a soul contract, a soulmate to you. But your past hurts have shaped your actions in the present. What else would you say? You would tell her about your mother wounds, how your mother is still a big influence on your life, on your behavior, even as an adult, that you have challenges with connecting to a divine feminine energy within you and externally. You would let her know that you've been obsessed, that you've thought about her every single day, every single moment. You've watched her online, had other people watch her for you. That you fear that she doesn't see you clearly. And you are correct. I can answer that for you. She does not, because you have not expressed yourself. But again, your silence and her thoughts will become truth. You would tell her that no one compares to her, because no matter how many people you've met since her, before and after, the experiences that you've had with her, no one has ever felt the same. And you would confess about your attention of others, that you are addicted to the attention of others, that you love the feeling of being wanted and needed, and you don't feel whole without it. And divine masculine, understand that these are things that your divine feminine could recognize in you, but she was waiting for you to have that opportunity, that moment of being vulnerable with her. So that once you expressed yourself, once you explained to her your insecurities, she could now grab you and hold you. She could now take you in her arms and help you begin your healing process, because now you have expressed out loud your fears. And as the divine feminine, she would have known exactly what to do to help support you, to help lighten the load a little bit. So divine masculine, You have an opportunity right now during this full moon in Libra to work on reconciliation with your divine feminine. There's going to be a lot of doors that will need to be closed, if you can hear that. A lot of trash that will need to be thrown out, baggage emptied. You are going to have to walk away from people, places, and situations that make you question how you feel about this divine feminine that you truly seem to love deep down, but fear being loved by fully. So let's hear from your divine feminine, divine masculine. Let's see how she feels, what she has to say, what her secrets and her fears have been in the past, in the present moment. Because maybe there's an opportunity for reconciliation, but it is going to take effort on both parts. It is going to take effort on both sides. A relationship is an equal give and take between two people who choose to give to each other. You have to choose to give to each other. It cannot be one-sided. And when you choose to give to each other, it means wholeheartedly on both sides. It doesn't mean you're allowed to hold back this or that. No, it means being open. It means being vulnerable. It means allowing them to love even the ugly parts that even scare you. So, divine feminine. Divine feminine, what is the energy of the moon for you? What is the overall moon energy for the divine feminines during this pink full moon in Libra? And you regarding the person on your mind, the person you are in connections with, the person you are separated from, how will my divine feminines need to bring in balance? What is the moon energy for my divine feminines? South Node, don't let your past hold you back, is your first advice, divine feminines. Some of you guys have a hard time letting go of the past. And if you have a hard time letting go of the past, it means that you are still holding on. That means that you cannot move towards the future. You cannot be in the present, because the present is a gift. It is an opportunity for you to evolve, for you to heal. But some of you are still holding on to the past. And if the past is something that you still want, meaning you do want to reconcile with this person from your past, that means that you are going to have to learn how to believe in the impossible, divine feminine. I feel like a lot of you are between worlds. A lot of you feel like you want the person from your past, but at the same time, your brain is telling you that that's a crazy idea. Your heart still lives in the past, but your mind is telling you that you're just going to be hurt again. A personal issue is about to reach resolution, full moon in Cancer, divine feminine. So there is a conversation about to be had between you and someone that you still think about all the time. That even though mentally you feel you have decided, your heart space is not quite sure, but confirmation that the communication is coming in. It is going to be key and the deciding factor on what happens next between you and your divine masculine. And adjustments are going to be required on both sides of the spectrum. In order to reconcile, that means there has to be a level of compromise between two people. It means that two people will have to agree to take the action, but not just agree verbally, actually show the actions that they agree to. because otherwise it'll just be a love bomb situation. It'll be a lighting situation, a breadcrumbing situation. This is not what this full moon in Libra is about. So Divine Feminine, I am sure at this point, after all of the healing that you've done, that you know how to use your discernment. You know how to use your intuition. So you will know if you are approached by this person from your past, you will know pretty quickly if they are serious, if they are truly wanting to heal with you, to reconcile with you, to put in the time, energy, and effort towards you. So, Divine Feminine, what are your secrets, thoughts, desires? What haven't you said to your Divine Masculine that you would want from the connection? What do you fear about the connection, Divine Feminine? Because we all have hopes and fears. And your biggest fear came out first. And it is the illusions. It is the illusions that you feel that you were fed, the reason why you are now in separation from this Divine Masculine. You feel that they were all illusions, that there was nothing real about the connection, even though you felt strongly deep down that you knew that this was your person. And you're beating yourself up mentally every single day because you feel like this person bamboozled you. You feel like this person got over on you, because how could you not see that this person was not real in any way, shape, or form? That everything that came out of their mouth was a lie. See, while partially I feel like that could be true, Divine Feminine, because again, you were dealing with a Divine Masculine that had their own secrets and insecurities. But Divine Feminine, the secret is that your Divine Masculine always knew you were a gift to them. They knew that you were a gift to them. They knew that you were what they prayed for so long. But when you arrived, when you showed up looking fine as wine, when you showed up with that open heart and that beautiful smile, that long brown hair, that long blonde hair, those blue eyes, those brown eyes, that shape that was like no other, your Divine Masculine was not ready. They realized that they were not ready. They couldn't believe it could be true that God could actually provide them with what they had prayed for, that an opportunity, a doorway had opened for them to decide, to choose to really be with the person that they have always dreamed of. So while the self-sabotage were the illusions, you are exactly right, Divine Feminine. And for some of you, unfortunately, that is exactly what they meant to do, to feed you illusions, to keep you confused, to keep you wondering whether they loved you or not, whether they cared about you or not, so that you would keep giving to them for as long as you would allow it. But for some of you, they fed themselves the illusion that you were not the person that they had prayed for so many nights and so many years, that it finally showed up in their 3D reality. They were shocked and awed at their own manifestation ability, because they were not in a place of feeling worthy. They did not even believe that they deserved someone like you, Divine Feminine. So you're right. The illusion was real. The emotional baggage was real, because you were dealing with someone who had been heartbroken multiple times before you. No kind of romantic relationship ever really worked. They had never truly connected to somebody on such a deep level. They had had millions of relationships at surface level, not requiring them to actually be their true, authentic self, to the point where they didn't even know who they truly were authentically. You came into their life, Divine Feminine, you challenged them immediately. You made their heart beat in a rhythm they had never felt before, to the point of anxiety, to the point of sweat anxiousness, not being able to sleep at night. You, even to this day, Divine Feminine, live rent free in this person's head. So the illusion was not just for you, Divine Feminine. It was for them and their own survival, for their own mental sanity, so that they can get up and move every day without people seeing how deeply they felt for this one person who they couldn't still understand meant so much to them because it made no sense to them. This is someone that has a lot of deep mother wounds, father wounds. This is somebody who was used to settling for karmic, settling for less, settling for the pretentious, because it meant they never had to truly be themselves. It meant they never truly had to worry about true judgment of who they were. And even though those situations were not really filled with the passion that they desired, it also meant that they didn't have to worry about their heart being broken. And this is your twin flame, Divine Feminine, a soul bond that is so strong that you both felt it from the beginning. You were both attracted to each other from the beginning. It was undeniable. It was an energy, a vibration that even everyone around you, even people who did not know you, could feel. By just looking at the two of you in the same space together, everyone knew how you felt about each other, even if your Divine Masculine denied it to themselves. So while you tried to move towards your Divine Masculine, while you tried to create a bond, a Bonnie and Clyde, a yin and yang, because that's what felt natural to you, because you knew that your soul was connected on some level. Even if you couldn't even explain it, you felt it and you went with how you felt, while your Divine Masculine ran from what they felt. But it was ultimately true love. It's always been true love. Even if nobody could put words to it, didn't know how to, didn't want to, was scared to, allowed fear to overtake their mind to. The vibration never lied. The energy between the two of you never lied. But unfortunately, your Divine Masculine did. And they lied to themselves. So what's the current situation? What is the current situation, Divine Feminine, between you and your Divine Masculine? Confirmation. Dishonesty. By lying, I ripped us apart. Confirmation. Your Divine Masculine always knew the truth, but didn't trust their own heart. They daydream about you. You live rent-free in their head. Even still, they are always longing for you, Divine Feminine. But they know that they sabotaged the connection. This is somebody who had a track record of always messing up the good things in their life. But right now, this person is at a moment of longing so much that they are losing sleep. They are not eating. Their stomach is in knots. Focus is out the door unless it's about you. You are their food. But that feeling of unworthiness still lingers. This person feels like you are a much better person than them. What could you possibly love about them, Divine Feminine? What could you possibly want with someone like them? That don't even see themselves as worthy of love. What do you want with them? Why do you desire them? when all they could do was neglect you. All they could do was fail to give you what you needed, Divine Feminine, because this is somebody who couldn't even give themselves what they needed. This is their question to you. This is why they have a hard time opening up. As much as they have hope in their heart that you haven't given up on them, that fear, that lack of self-love, that unhealed place of sabotage still lingers, and all they want is understanding. All they want is for you to see their side of the story. But unfortunately, Divine Feminine, you're going to have to hear their side of the story. So this is why I had to tell my Divine Masculines. Until you can open up and provide an openness moment with your Divine Feminine, it's a guessing game. And that guessing game is going to be filled with all the negative thoughts that she assumed, unless you come to correct it. And it will continue to solidify every single day that it goes unspoken, unsaid. Yes, your Divine Feminine understands you, Divine Masculine. But it's not fair to leave without words spoken. So many mistakes. Your Divine Masculine wishes that he can right his wrongs. So many disagreements based off of insecurity, because deep down he knows that you never knew how he felt, Divine Feminine. And you always wish that he could understand exactly how you felt. But somebody always felt unappreciated. Somebody always felt like one or the other didn't care. So this became a missed opportunity because somebody did not act when they should have. Because time waits for no one. So Divine Feminine, as you continue to move forward on your healing journey, if you have started your shadow work, you could be in the beginning of it, you could be in your dark night of the soul, and you can be coming out of it. But at the end of the day, your Divine Masculine is now starting to have that realization right at this moment that it was a missed opportunity because they did not act when they should have acted. So what were the insecurities and the past actions between the two of you that caused the disconnect? Well, your Divine Masculine feels like you guys have unfinished business. This is somebody who cannot stop thinking about you, who truly needs your forgiveness, who truly wants to reconcile and get down on one knee. But they think that proposing to you is going to fix it. If there are still Divine Masculine listening to this message, coming in at 100 miles an hour with a proposal when you have not addressed wrongdoings, past actions, brought in something as simple as an apology to say, I am sorry that I broke your heart, took you for granted, made you feel unsafe with me. Until that happens, the proposal is not going to be accepted. It will be a setback. Start with fixing the issues. Start with looking within, having self-awareness and honesty. That is where the reconciliation, the conversation needs to begin. Looking within on both sides, because it takes two people to be in a relationship. So yes, Divine Masculine, we have addressed your insecurities, your secrets, your issues. But Divine Feminine, there are also things that need an improvement, that need to be addressed on your side. Both people need to be able to look within and truly see where they were lacking in order confirmation to reconcile, putting in the work, better communication, getting back together, and equal give and take between two people. A 6 of Cups, a 6 of Pentacles. 6, it has to be balanced. 6 and 6 is 12. There needs to be a new perspective on both sides in order for this to be real love, the real deal, a true bond, something unshakable, that divine union that I know that both of you desire at this time. The stubbornness will have to fade. The lack of empathy, the being inflexible, the being guarded. Somebody's going to have to make it rain when it comes to emotions in order for there to be a windfall and actual growth opportunity of abundance in matters of the heart. The stubbornness is going to have to cease. The ego, non-existent. Pride, put to the side. Divine feminine, your divine masculine is thinking about popping up unexpectedly, thinking about taking a risk, facing their fears to give this emotional push. Because they know that you vibe and sync. They know that at one point you were an energetic match, that you were on the same page, that you could easily flow together. But unfortunately, your vibration has changed, divine feminine. If you are a divine feminine that has raised the bar, that has healed, your vibration, your energy is no longer a match to them, unfortunately. So they will need to meet you where you are. But what it doesn't mean is that you have to now settle, move backwards. No, they need to come and meet you where you are on the stairs, on your ascension. It is going to take work, energy, effort, great communication, consistent communication, honest, integrity, commitment. It doesn't mean that fear is not going to exist, but fear cannot take the lead anymore. So how are you feeling, divine feminine? How are you feeling, divine feminine? You feel that they are unawakened. You are correct. Your divine masculine has healing work to do. They do need to put in the action. They do need to put in the effort. They do need to work on themselves, because coming back from an unhealed place is going to cause a more permanent separation this time. There will not be another chance. Yes, you want them to be fearless. I understand. Because divine feminine, you have had to come from a place of being strong and brave, even when you also had fear. And I feel like you're looking for a divine masculine to step up. You're looking for a divine masculine to take on that role of being that protector, provider, support system. Because I feel like you are tired of holding up them. I feel like divine feminine, you are ready to sit in your true divine feminine energy, and you are looking to be held, supported, uplifted, nurtured, loved. You have taken on the role of a divine masculine and divine feminine for a very long time, even when you didn't ask to, because you were required to in order to survive. And I feel like my collective, my divine feminine collective, you are exhausted of it. You are truly looking for somebody that's willing to step up to the plate, to deal with their trauma and their fears and be there for you. Show and prove. Stand 10 toes down for you, like you have done for so many other people, even after being stabbed in the back, even after having your heart constantly stepped on and broken and shattered, and the disappointments and the letdowns and the tears. It is time for the scales to be brought to balance. This is a bittersweet symphony right now. Because while the truth is going to hurt, it is going to be ugly, it is the only way to move from your past into the present. It is only going to allow you to leave the past behind in order to truly live in the present, so that your future can truly be a gift. So yes, this will be a bittersweet moment if this conversation is had. But confirmation, it will bring your divine masculine to the present. Thank you for the confirmation, Spirit. If you could give words of affirmation or explain to your divine masculine how you are feeling, divine feminine, what would you say? My fantasy. You're my fantasy. You still look at their pictures, divine feminine. You still long for those past moments where you guys were both happy, where you were just vibing in sync. You were on the same page, where you felt like you had met your forever person. Because you did have those moments with this divine masculine. They're remembering the same moments. You're missing them as well. You guys both miss each other. So whoever's listening to this right now, stop playing around. You guys both miss each other, and you have been for a very long time. Somebody needs to get out of their ego and step into love and step into their heart and go after the person that they know is their person. And have that moment of not caring about judgment or insecurities. And speak from the heart like you never have before. And even if you don't know the outcome, it'll never be where you could say, I regret not trying. I wonder what if I did. See, living with regret to me is worse than ever being rejected. Because at least a rejection gives you an answer, it gives you a closure. But regret leaves you with a guilty conscience. I had to go off on both of y'all right now for a minute. Because both of y'all been crying. Look at that, tears. When I think about you, I cry. Both of y'all been in tears. Over each other. Divine masculine, divine feminine. Because there is love. Because there's always been love between the two of you. Of course there has been tears. Because both people feel so strongly about the other and have been held back by external factors, fears, resentment, wrongdoings, ego, friends, family, and everybody else who has an opinion that you're listening to except your own. The emotional intimacy is what you miss. It's what you cry over, because you guys had those moments. So many of those moments. But it became too real for somebody and they pulled away and they sabotaged it. But this is why you cry for each other, because you remember the moments of true intimacy. But you also remember, divine feminine and divine masculine, that there were moments where you were not completely open and raw with each other. Where you were not always authentic about what you were really feeling. When you have feelings of jealousy, but you always knew that both of you felt like home to each other. Being with you reminds me of simpler times. You bring so much happiness and peace to my life. You know how much happiness and peace is missing in this world right now? For two people to find it in each other and have an opportunity to hold on to it. It's priceless. So what do you guys both want to heal between each other? You want there to be a successful outcome in this relationship. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, even Spirit's like, yeah, they want to have success in their relationship. The energy is written all over this. It's easy to feel the longing. The amount of chills that I have all over is insane. Stop the blame. That needs to be healed. The pointing of the finger, because both sides have things that they need to work on and address and fix if you are going to reconcile. This is never a one-sided situation. It's going to take courage between the two of you. The worry is going to have to go away in order for there to be peace. Your self-esteem, your self-worth is going to have to be intact. There's going to need to be trust between the two of you and no more doubt. Once a decision is made, both people got to be both in and let go of fear and guilt to move this forward. To get rid of the feelings of loneliness that you both have felt for a very long time, not being with each other. Let me wrap this up with some final confirmations and affirmations for my divine feminine, the divine masculine on this full moon in Libra. The scales will need to be balanced. Spirit, I love you so much. The first one out, the moon. The energy doesn't lie. And neither do I. The way you take care of your body is sexy. Aquarius, speak, thoughts, giver. Some of you guys could have Aquarius in your chart or be dealing with one. What else, Spirit? On this full moon in Libra. September could be significant. Libra, you can have Libra in your chart. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, the Eye of Horus. This is the divinely guided union. The letter M is significant. Moon is Cancer energy. The letter X is significant. Somebody sees right through the other. X-ray. When I saw X, it made me think of X-ray vision. Somebody is afraid of the fact that the other sees right through them to their soul. Vulnerable moments are needed at this time. No more fear. What else, Spirit? What other confirmations for the divine masculine, divine feminine on this full moon? Somebody has blue eyes. What else, Spirit? (888) Abundance and love, finances, divine masculine. You are here. Your energy. You want to bring abundance to your divine feminine in all areas. It's time to step up. April is significant. It's April 1st. on this full moon in Libra. April is going to be very significant. There's going to be acts of love. Wow. Between two people who've longed for each other for so long. 333, the divine order is here. The divine is not playing about this union. It's going to take courage, confirmation between two people. You always know how to take care of me. You guys always knew how to help each other, to take care of each other. Somebody is an amazing father. What else, Spirit? Thank you for taking care of our family. Somebody is an amazing parent, loving. Family means the world to you. The way you nurture is like no other. The divine feminine, so nurturing, so loving, so giving, so supportive. Strength is going to be needed, spiritual strength, physical strength. They find your intelligence very sexy. I feel like you guys feel that for each other. You guys are both sapiosexuals. Your sons really admire you. Divine feminine and divine masculine. Psalm 21:7. For the king trusts in the Lord through the unfailing love of the Most High. He will not be shaken. There is no need to fear when you have the love of the Most High supporting you, your spirit team supporting you. Don't let fear stop you. Confirmation. Sagittarius could be significant. November could be significant. The letter C could be significant. 2022 was significant. 111, you could be seeing that angel number, which is about new beginnings. Mayat, heart as light as a feather. Once you release and say what you need to say, open up and stop letting fear get in your way, your heart will feel lighter. The number 7 could be significant. Born on the 7th, the month of July. Make that decision. Scorpio could be significant. A lot of passion. But the heartbreak stung when you guys separated. Life path 22. Master. Number 6. Born on the 6th, the month of June. A few more, Spirit. Meditate. 777. Somebody needs to go within and connect with their higher self. July is significant. Somebody thinks another smells intoxicating. You should be told you are appreciated more. Pisces. Okay, just a few more. Confirmations and affirmations, Spirit, for the collective on this full moon in Libra. The letter Z. And don't forget, you are a god, you are a goddess. And that's where I'll leave it. The sun is at the bottom of the deck, what you don't see coming. Love, happiness, joy. Once you can come together, the sun will be there. The scales need to be brought into balance. It is going to take two people putting their fear aside and having immense courage to do so. The energy out here is strong between two who obviously love each other, are missing each other. The time is now. Collective, I love you guys to the moon and back. I pray that this message helps you find courage to take action in Aries season, the action of Mars to move towards love. If this message resonated, I would love to know about it. Hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe, and until next time, collective. Bye, you guys.